Thanks so much for playing GUTV Bracketology with us. When you do, you're giving us the most important thing you have, and that's your time. Well, I'm here to ask for the second most important thing you have, and that's your money. GUTV Bracketology is an online reunion, but we also use it as a fundraiser. Lab fees only go so far to keep our program where it needs to be. Lab fees didn't get us a new production control room. That was a gift of the McQuilkin family. Lab fees didn't get us the motion graphics editing suite. That was from the Opilas. We also got a new set. We got new HD cameras in the studio, all based on donations from programs just like the one that you're going to be watching. This year, I'm hoping to use the money that we earn in GUTV Bracketology for a very, very important and ambitious study abroad program in 2016. Some of you might remember I went on the 100-kilometer Camino de Santiago pilgrimage last August and made a little 20-minute show out of that. Well, we mean to go back in 2016, bring some Gonzaga broadcasting majors, and make an hour-long documentary about a really, really innovative religious studies study abroad program. That's what a lot of the money will go toward as far as GUTV Bracketology this year. Once again, thank you so much for your time. We're going to make it real easy for you to make a donation with just the click of a mouse. And I say to you, good luck in your brackets if you don't have Gonzaga going as far as I do. It's all the way this year. God bless you. Thanks for playing.
Good evening and welcome to GUTV Bracketology. I'm Reed Vito.
And I'm Nick Joyce. This is the first of 4 GUTV shows covering all things March Madness. For 5 years now, Bracketology has been an awesome way to celebrate college basketball while also bringing together GUTV students, alums, and friends and family.
The Alumni and Family Network is strong. My brother, Taylor Vito, is a 2011 GUTV grad and works at Creme 2 News here in Spokane. And as part of their Bulldog Madness show on Wednesday, Creme will air a package on bracketology and some GUTV alums currently in the business, or as Dan would say, the bidness. Be sure to check that out on Wednesday at 7.
As Professor Dan mentioned in the open, Bracketology this year will have all of the college hoops actions you know and love, and some new traditions we're starting this season.
As always, the entire GUTV family will competing in March Madness Bracketology. We will be breaking it down into the usual 3 brackets: current students, friends and family, and GUTV alums. We'll update the brackets every week here on GUTV so you can tune in and see how your choices are ranking against the other viewers.
And this year, we're adding a whole new bracket, March Madness Mascots. This bracket is for GUTV fans who aren't as immersed in the NCAA world. Pick your favorite mascot, and each week, tune in to see if your choice battles its way into the next round.
Now, creating a bracket can be a little tricky, especially if it's your first time. Our social media producer, Maggie Fisher, is live in the tweet suite, and she's going to walk us through the process. What's up, Maggie?
Thanks, Reed. We want everyone to participate in the GUTV Bracketology, so we've simplified the process. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page, and we have a post there that shows you how to sign up for GUTV Bracketology. So you click on the registration link and enter the password GUTV15 and start your bracket. It's easy, but do it soon because tomorrow is the last day to fill out a bracket. Picking your March Madness mascot is pretty simple too. I've made a post on our Facebook page and all you have to do is post your pick in the comment section. We gathered up some of the odder mascots, as you can see, like the Robert Morris Colonials or the Providence Friars, and you tell us which ones you think will kick all the other ones out of the competition. So just comment and say who your favorite mascot is. We also want to know who your #1 picks are as you start making your brackets. Tweet your choice with the hashtag GUTV Madness, and I'll share some of them later in the show.
Thanks, Maggie. I look forward to seeing all those mascot predictions. You know, and Nick, did you know that the English Bulldog is the strongest mascot in the world?
I did not know that, but
totally unbiased fact right there. So
this year, we're trying to bring something new to the bracketology scene. Our shows have always been about the teams and the utter madness that is college basketball in March, but we wanted to get it in on the fun this time.
Tonight, we'll be kicking off the first of a series of 4 basketball competitions that show off some of the sweet sports skills our GUTV family has, or in some cases doesn't have. Broadcasting majors and minors of all ages and abilities will try to tackle a number of basketball challenges, great and small, simply for the love of the game.
Here at GUTV, creativity is key. So for the first round, senior Jess Clement hit the court to judge the athletic flair of 3 eager GUTV students. Sit tight and get ready for some March radness.
Style means finding the deepest part of yourself and putting it on the court. What makes you sing and your enemies cringe every morning. That's style. That's what puts the butter on the bread and the bread on the table and the table on the legs.
When I was 4 years old, I actually played Kobe one-on-one, beat him. Hashtag ball is life.
So I bring a great aspect of my swimming skills. You know, I've swam in Rudolph for a while, so I know right where they put the basket.
This isn't a pool!
Oh, this is like land? Oh.
See this headband? It says Star Kid on it. Because I'm a kid, just a freshman, but I'm a star. And I'm gonna rule this court. So, better watch out. Star Kid.
Here's the thing. I'm a judge. I judge people. And, you know, after winning another league championship for co-ed intramural recreational IM leagues, it's go time. It was hard, it wasn't easy. But I gotta say, in terms of style, in terms of leaving it all out there, you gotta go with Zach.
Yeah! Ball is life!
I love the water pour there at the end, Zach. What a great video. But Reed, I've got a fun fact for you. Did
What's
you
that?
know I once beat Shaquille O'Neal in a game of one-on-one?
Nick, that wasn't you. That was actually Aaron Carter. Maybe you can bleach your hair just like him, so good luck with that. Anyways, when we come back, we'll meet our GUTV Senior and Alum of the Week.
Stick around. You're watching Bracketology on GUTV.
Pay attention close, as the story goes, it's like boom, I put it in the hoop like slam. I heard the crowd screaming out jam. I swear that I'm telling you the facts, cause that's how I beat Shaq.
TGIM! TGIM!
TGIM! TGIM!
TGIM!
TGIM!
TGIM!
TGIM! Woo!
TGIM!
TGIM!
Those longboarders are really starting to get on my nerves.
Bikers and scooters, too. They act like they own the sidewalk.
Yeah, earlier I was walking around and I saw a skateboarder. He was coming at me real hot and my friend was like, whoa. Then he just ran right into me. Then I looked at him and he said, my friend told him to share the concrete. So then I was like, yeah, share the concrete, bro.
Yeah, people with wheels need to share.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam.
Welcome back to GUTV Bracketology. I'm Nick Joyce.
And I'm Reed Vito. Every year during Bracketology, GUTV takes the opportunity to honor a Senior of the Week. Our first senior hails all the way from San Jose, California, and is already making his mark in the professional world of sports broadcasting. Here's Stephen Carr.
I came to Gonzaga to be an on-air, play-by-play talent kind of person because I did my high school's football games and play-by-play for them. And then I came to Gonzaga and I kind of fell in love with the production side, directing, TDing, producing, and I kind of found my niche there.
Can't see. Set two with their names.
Working with Steve is just really easy. He knows everything inside and out, and that makes your job, no matter what it is, so much easier, and it makes the show run easier. It's just a blast.
GUTV has decided to add a new physical competition to bracketology for current.
I think the point that I tried to make through my 4 years here is kind of how to direct a class while being calm at the same time. I take pride in being very, very calm while I direct shows.
Freddie McHugh, take McHugh, Freddie Lucky.
Steven's directing style is so much better than everyone else's. He is so calm during shows. You see other people, like if something goes wrong or if something, even if it's just not how he envisioned it, you know, directors will freak out or they'll get angry or they'll just start calling for random things. Steven is so calm under pressure. He's stoic. He's very straightforward. He knows what he wants, and that pays off so well in everything that they do. It's incredible. So, in everything he directs, it's just, it's just the way his mind works. I don't know what it is. Steven is actually really funny. People probably don't know that because he doesn't talk very often. He's pretty stoic, pretty straightforward, straight shooter. But Steven's got a sense of humor, and he's a joy to be around.
From everyone here at GUTV, I'm Stephen Carr. Have a good night and go Zags.
I don't know if I really want to leave a legacy more than being remembered as kind of a director who stayed calm and kind of led by example. And I think that's what I pride myself in doing, is leading by example, and that's kind of the legacy, I guess, that I'm leaving.
And I'd have to agree with everything that was said. Steven's one of the calmest directors we have here at GUTV and a role model to a lot of the younger students. And now, to our alum of the week. Our first alum of the season graduated from Gonzaga in 2008. He's worked in St. George, Waco, and Spokane, and is now a reporter in the 6th largest market. Meet Ian Cull.
I'm Ian Cull. I am a graduate from Gonzaga GUTV, proud GUTV alum, class of 08. I now work at the beautiful NBC Bay Area. I started here in June. I previously worked at KXOY in Spokane for about 3 years and then got this job about in April, moved here 2 weeks after, started right away. Dan told us back in 2004, basically that, he said, hey, you know what, you're probably going to need to shoot, write, edit, produce, do all that when you get your job. And I was like, I don't know. We were all kind of like, what is Dan talking about? And then as the years went on through school, we're kind of like, okay, looking at the business, looking at reporters out in the field, it's like they're starting to kind of do this sort of thing. And so that's something Dan pounded into me from the beginning, basically. And it's because of that that I was able to get all of my jobs. I wouldn't have this job unless I was able to do that. That's the reason that they hired me here.
Reporting live in Palo Alto, Ian Cull, NBC Bay Area News.
My favorite GUTV memory is basically going in and out of breaks, people dancing, having fun in the control room, but also working really hard as students. And so you're working so hard, you basically have this little newsroom, your cohesive unit and working together, and that's just so awesome. I'll never forget those memories on, working on editing a package all day long or over 2 days, which is something, funny now to think that I can do it in, 45 minutes to an hour. But it's so much fun, I'll never forget it. The Facebook page is great because we all like to see what's going on, and I don't think that, You guys really know how many of us actually look at that stuff. We actually pay a lot of attention to what you guys do because we like to see it. We like to see how, you know, GUTV is holding up, and it looks amazing. It's funny, you know, it's funny to think and see all of those changes that are going on, and we like to keep in touch through that and do whatever we can to help, you know, build that alumni base. It feels like you get so far removed from Gonzaga when you have a job, but you're really not. And one of the things that I've loved is keeping in touch with Dan. I remember I had, you know, I was in my first market, and then I was, you know, every contract I've run by him before, and he always gives me tips. And in one market, in one place, my second job, I hated it. And I thought I was going crazy, and I was like, oh man, it's been 3 months, I gotta call Dan. I don't know what's going on. I feel like he's just gonna say, you know what, suck it up. Ian, you gotta do it, this is what it's like. And I'll never forget when I called him, and I told him what was going on, because I hated it, I wanted to quit. And he says, you gotta get out of there. And it was the best phone conversation I've ever had about my career. And I feel like that one phone conversation was worth my entire tuition to Gonzaga. And I wish I could give that to Dan now, but I can't. And so, I mean, he knows what he's talking about, yeah, he's given a lot of great wisdom and advice over, and I hope that some of us GUTV alumni can answer any questions. We're always available to you guys on Facebook or Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot, so just tweet me and I'll keep up with what you guys are doing. I'd love to help any way I can, even if it's to look over resume tape or anything like that, because having another set of eyes on stuff, you never know how it can help. Okay, now guys, you're gonna see this up here, and Nick, why don't you throw that up there? Throw it on 3? Perfect, great, okay. I'm gonna write that down. I'm not even writing anything, but I'm Dan, and so I'm gonna make it look important. Why don't you guys bring that up, just a little bit of audio, pop that up. Okay, perfect, take 3. Okay, great, okay. That's all I got. I don't know. It's been a long time.
Awesome getting to know Ian a little more. And Ian, I took your advice and asked you a question on Twitter, so check that out and let me know what you think.
And there is a way you can help us, Ian, and it's by donating at donate.watchgutv.com.
Last month, GUTV and the Gonzaga Bulletin merged their resources in an effort to bring you a better news experience. Coming up after the break, we'll talk March Madness with Bulletin sports editor, who's got the lowdown on both Zags basketball teams. Stay tuned. You're watching Bracketology on GUTV.
All around the world, y'all know this is so that.
Go Zags!
Go Zags! Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Until next time, I'm Greg Talbot. Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Hi, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. How are you? Good.
Hi.
Good. Hi.
How are you? Good. Hi. How are you? Good.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
No, really. How are you?
Well, I'm studying for 2 tests I have tomorrow, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm going on a mountaineering trip, and that's going to be so much fun. We have to leave at
TGIM! TGIM!
TGIM! TGIM!
TGIM!
TGIM!
TGIM!
TGIM! Woo!
TGIM!
TGIM!
Welcome back to GUTV Bracketology. I'm Nick Joyce.
And I'm Reed Vito. GUTV isn't the only campus news source that covers March Madness. Members of the Gonzaga Bulletin staff will provide game coverage on the web and in print. Some of the sports writers will travel to Seattle this weekend to cover the Zags' first-round game against North Dakota State.
Here with the scoop on all things Zag basketball is Bulletin sports editor Andy Bueller. Andy, thanks so much for joining us.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So, what's it like being the sports editor for Gonzaga?
You know, it's a ton of fun. The Bulletin, we have fresh content. We're a weekly, and you know, I have great writers and a great staff to work with.
What are some of the pros that go with the job?
Oh, pros. Well, we can cover games. That's a lot of fun. It turns the games into a little bit of work, but that's okay. And I don't know, I love to write, and so it's a perfect fit for me.
And you mentioned this is a weekly thing you guys put out, so like what other kind of difficulties come with doing a weekly post about the Gonzaga sports?
Well, as an editor on Tuesday nights, we have to lay out all the pages and make sure everything's fired away. Do final edits on Wednesdays and just make sure there's no mistakes coming up on the Thursday when it's published.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So you are a sports editor, and I understand that you got to go to Vegas last week, and you know they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but we're hoping you'll be able to give us a little bit of insight on what Vegas was like.
Well, fortunately for the Zags, what happens in Vegas actually carries with them. As it was a pretty successful week for the guys. They played a tough game against USF. It was pretty hard fought, and then they turned it around against Pepperdine, and the BYU final was a ton of fun.
What do you think that momentum's going to do going into the tournament?
You know, I'm only going to hope that it'll help them out, especially in the first couple rounds where they've had trouble in the past.
What was your favorite game to watch while you were down there?
Oh, it had to have been the BYU game. I mean, Brigham Young just brought it. Their fans, it was a sold-out environment. The students in the kennel traveled. Some of the season ticket holders traveled. It was just a ton of fun.
And I'm sure, you know, not everything was about sports down there. So what was your favorite non-basketball moment when you were in Vegas?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, just relaxing out and laying out by the pool. We had a couple opportunities to do that, and it was, you just can't beat it.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Very jealous.
So, for the tournament, do you have any general predictions or upsets that you think we should look out for?
Upsets. You know, the Spokanites are going to love this one, but I'm predicting Eastern Washington, who nabbed a 13 seed. The committee really, I think, gave them a good seed with that. I think they will beat Georgetown, the number 4 seed in the first round, and that's going to be a big deal for Eastern. They're a great team. Tyler Harvey, their leading scorer, is just a fantastic player. He's the leading scorer in the country. So as far as upsets, I think that probably leads my upsets, but for the Zags, I'm predicting a Final Four appearance. Ooh. And I think this is it. It's the first.
I gave me chills as you said that.
first one of the school history. The first couple rounds are going to be tough to get through. They have a Sweet 16 matchup with hopefully Iowa State, but we'll see. We'll see.
And for the first round, they are going back to Seattle, and some are considering that almost as like a home field advantage or home court advantage for them. How do you think that's going to help them in Seattle?
The Seattle environment is fantastic. I was there for Battle in Seattle as well, covering that game. I'll be there this weekend, and I think that they'll really sell out. And if you're a player, you always want to play against a team when you got the fans behind your back.
Completely agree with that. So you mentioned earlier before the show an interesting fact about the women's team. Would you care to share that with us?
The women's team got an at-large bid. They got an 11 seed since they were eliminated from the conference tournament last week in Vegas by BYU in the semifinals. They did not get that automatic bid, but they did get in the tournament. There was a little bit of a scare there for a second, but they'll be playing against George Washington, a 6 seed in Corvallis. So that's exciting for the GU women. They'll get a chance to maybe upset George Washington.
And what are your thoughts on the whole season of the women's basketball? Like highs and lows of the season, how's that going to help them in the tournament?
Well, you know, there was a lot of turnover in the offseason, losing head coach Kelly Graves to the Ducks, but they really responded with a ton of resiliency. Lisa Fortier, the head coach, has done a brilliant job, and Lindsay Sherbert, who would, at least I thought she would be a fairly strong player this year. She went down with a knee injury, injured her PCL, and she was out. She got to come back later, but Ellie Tinkle really stepped up, and that's been the case. Is the starting lineup has really proven to be solid this season.
Well, excellent. Look forward to that. Well, thank you very much, Andy, for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're gonna, in just a few moments, we'll head back to the tweet suite where Maggie is keeping track of your GUTV Madness tweets. We can't wait to see what you pick to go all the way. And just for the fun of it, we'll share ours too.
Stay tuned. You're watching Bracketology on GUTV.
Okay, class, you have 60 minutes, and it's 240 points.
TGIM! 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 TGIM!
TGIM.
TGIM! Woo!
TGIM.
TGIM!
Seriously? Get off!
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam.
Hey. Welcome back to Bracketology. I'm Maggie Fisher. I've been here in the Tweet Suite checking out which teams you think will take home the trophy this year. While we're here at GUTV, would love to see Wild choose Gonzaga to win it all. We're gonna check out who y'all picked. So our first tweet comes from Nick Winstead, who said, "It's hard not to pick Kentucky. They've won in so many ways and are battle tested. If they play like they're capable, watch out. Hashtag GUTV madness." All right, looks like Kentucky's one of the teams to watch. Our next tweet comes from Caitlin Mern, who says, "Kansas, because why not?" I like your logic, Caitlin. Our next tweet comes from Nick Lane, who says, "I like Kentucky edging out the Zags in the finals, but my heart is with the Zags. Hashtag GUTV madness." I have to agree with you there, Nick. Our next tweet comes from Ben Goodwin, who says, "Looking for that Elite Eight matchup of Zags-Eagles. However, everyone loses to Kentucky in the end. Hashtag Eastside Pride. Hashtag Washington." Well, I don't know about that. Hopefully the Zags can beat Kentucky because, you know, pride. All right, our last tweet comes from Gracie Harris, who says, "Gonzaga, hashtag GUTV madness." I love the enthusiasm. As for me, I think I'm sticking by the Wichita State Shockers as my pick, because, you know, I like to keep it electric. Zing. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Maggie. So, Andy, who do you have winning the big dance?
Winning the big dance, man, the first tweeter had it hit it right on the head. It's hard not to pick Kentucky. It's pretty much.
Hey, he's a nice guy.
I do have his guys going to the Final Four, which is a huge deal. It's a huge deal. The first time in school history, but Kentucky, they are by far the best team in the country, and they will be the team to beat. I think if they do end up losing, that will be a historic loss. And so, unfortunately, Big Blue Nation, I think will take this one.
Interesting.
Reed, what about you?
You know, I do have Wisconsin and Gonzaga in the final game, and I think it's kind of a coin flip game, but I'm going to go with the Zags. You know, especially after what this guy just said. It might give him a little motivation.
And I also have to agree. I mean, I feel like it's the Zags' best chance at making it, and if I can't root for my team, then I don't know what year will be the best year to root for him then. So that's all from us here tonight. Make sure you fill out your bracket at brackets.watchgutv.com. And be sure to pick your March Madness mascot on our Facebook page.
And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the Bolton Sports Show and to Bracketology next Monday to see how your choices fared against those of fellow GUTV fans.
From all of us here at GUTV, good night.
Go Zags.